We're on him, dude.
Hello?
Jesus.
Jake Paul's world just crumbled after his arrest, marking a dramatic fall from grace. All the hype and years spent building his brand as the loudest, most outrageous YouTuber and wannabe boxing champ have gone up in smoke with one arrest. This isn't some minor offense like speeding or a petty fight. Jake is facing serious charges that could keep him behind bars with no bail in sight. His darkest secrets have been dragged into the public eye, and everything is spiraling out of control. What's even more shocking? No one feels sorry for him. The sympathy meter is stuck at zero. And the reason for Jake Paul's arrest isn't some random scandal. It's all tied to the infamous press conference on August 18th at the Jacob Javits Center in New York City. That day, which many thought would be just another publicity stunt, has now become a turning point, exposing Jake in a way that no one expected and leaving his reputation in tatters. Everyone expected the press conference to be just another over-the-top hype fest for Jake Paul's big fight with Mike Tyson, but it quickly turned into a circus. From the moment Jake swaggered onto the stage, something felt off. He's always been the king of trash talk, but this time he went way too far. In a shocking move, Jake decided it would be a great idea to mock Tyson's illness. Yes, you heard that right. Jake stared Tyson down and actually had the nerve to make a tasteless comment about his condition. The room went dead silent, as if everyone was holding their breath, trying to process the train wreck unfolding before them. Even Jake's diehard fans were likely thinking, did he really just say that? But Jake wasn't finished yet. He doubled down, puffed out his chest, and with his signature arrogance, boldly declared more outrageous remarks. Forget about respect, honor, or even the sport. Jake Paul made it crystal clear he was only in this fight for the money, treating Mike Tyson as just another pawn in his relentless quest for cash and fame. Let's be honest, Jake has never been about improving his skills or learning from a legend like Tyson. It's always been about staying in the spotlight, keeping the buzz alive, and feeding his ego. Meanwhile, Tyson was dealing with real health issues, like ulcers. Despite having every reason to back out of the fight, Tyson showed his resilience. Instead of stepping away, he took a brief pause, gathered his strength, and turned to face Jake with determination when he was ready. Jake Paul wasn't interested in getting better in the ring. Remember when he challenged Mike Perry to a fight? That wasn't about growth or improvement. It was just another ploy to keep his name in the headlines. Jake Paul's rise in the boxing world has been nothing short of a soap opera, filled with drama and controversies that make you wonder if any of it is even real. Sure, his bravado and massive social media following have kept him in the spotlight, but let's not ignore the whispers, no, the outright shouts from fans and boxing experts who've questioned the legitimacy of his victories. Especially those conveniently timed TKOs that have sparked suspicion and doubt. Everyone's rolling their eyes and questioning if Jake Paul's wins are as legitimate as he claims. That's why Tyson once remarked that in professional boxing, where every punch can mean the difference between glory and defeat, the referee's role is the ultimate authority. However, when it comes to Jake Paul's victories, those refs have made people raise their eyebrows more than once. Take his fight with Tyron Woodley on August 29, 2021, for example. It ended in a TKO, but it felt more like a magic trick than a genuine boxing match. Woodley, known for being one of the toughest fighters, suddenly found himself stopped in his tracks. The whole thing seemed suspiciously choreographed to keep Jake's face from meeting the canvas. Then there was the bizarre spectacle against Ben Askren on April 17, 2021, another TKO and another round of what just happened. Askren, a tough competitor, was defeated in a way that left many questioning the match's authenticity. Former MMA champion Ben Askren barely hit the floor before the referee swooped in to call the fight. It was like watching a ref put training wheels on Jake Paul's career, ensuring he stayed upright no matter what. Fans and critics alike began questioning whether these wins were truly earned or just part of a larger scheme to protect a rising star with shaky credentials. This isn't just a small cloud hanging over Jake's career, it's more like a looming storm that threatens to rain on every parade he throws. And Mike Tyson, a man who's seen and done it all in boxing, wasn't going to let this slide. When Tyson announced the knockout-only rule for their upcoming clash, it wasn't just a tweak, it was a challenge. Tyson was saying, let's see what you're really made of, no shortcuts, no handouts. But Jake, let's just say he wasn't too thrilled about having to fight without any safety nets. The crowd erupted with excitement when Tyson dropped this bombshell, cheering for a real fight instead of another questionable victory. Jake, however, completely lost it. He grabbed the mic and unleashed a tirade that had nothing to do with boxing and everything to do with his fragile ego. This wasn't just an outburst, it was a full-blown meltdown, revealing how rattled he truly was. The idea of fighting under Tyson's rules with no room for his usual shenanigans had him panicking. His usual swagger vanished, replaced by a desperate attempt to regain control in a situation spiraling beyond his grasp. Jake Paul was slipping through his fingers, and it only got worse as he had talked a big game during the negotiations. He was all about fighting on Tyson's terms, making bold claims about stepping up to the challenge. But now, faced with the reality of those terms, he was backpedaling faster than anyone could have imagined. The bravado was gone, replaced by a guy desperately trying to wiggle out of a fight he clearly wasn't prepared for. Legal troubles were piling up, with charges for breaching contracts and potential fraud tangled in the web Mike Tyson's team had spun. The arrest was swift and completely unexpected, leaving Jake and everyone else stunned. One minute he was the carefree surfer dude, and the next he was being hauled off, looking less like the brash YouTuber turned boxer we were used to and more like a kid caught with his hand in the cookie jar. And if you thought that was the end, think again. The whole situation took a legendary turn when Mike Tyson appeared on Logan Paul's podcast and was asked why he was going after Jake. Mike Tyson isn't one to mince words, and he didn't disappoint in laying it all out. He made it crystal clear that this wasn't just a contract dispute, it was personal. This was about respect, sticking to your word, and the integrity that has built Tyson's reputation both in and out of the ring. Tyson has never been one to back down from a fight or let anyone get away with disrespect. When Jake Paul disrespected him at the press conference and then tried to wriggle out of their deal, Tyson didn't let his old fiery self take over. Instead, he kept his cool, demonstrating how he's learned over the years to stay composed even when every instinct tells him to retaliate. On the podcast, Tyson addressed the situation in his no-nonsense style. "I'm a straightforward person," he said, his voice carrying the weight of countless battles. Jake's trash talk didn't faze him. Tyson has faced much worse. What really got under his skin was Jake's attempt to undermine him, showing that while Tyson may have seen it all, he still values respect and integrity above all. For Tyson, boxing was more than just a sport, it was about honor and keeping one's word. In Tyson's world, integrity is paramount. He could have easily let his anger take control, as we've seen when Mike Tyson loses his temper. However, he chose a different path, understanding the destructive potential of his rage. Tyson reflected on his past, acknowledging that his former self, who resolved conflicts with his fists, was a force to be reckoned with. Yet, he's also keenly aware that such behavior has landed him in trouble numerous times. This self-awareness is a stark reminder of the importance of managing one's temper and staying true to one's commitments, even in the face of intense emotions. For Tyson, the line between maintaining control and letting things spiral is incredibly thin. His life has shown him that a single misstep could lead to disaster, so when Jake Paul began acting out, Tyson made a deliberate choice not just to manage Jake, but to keep his own inner demons at bay. Handling the situation legally was Tyson's way of demonstrating that he's learned from his past mistakes and is determined not to be dragged back into the chaos he's worked so hard to escape. This decision was more than just a powerful move, it was a testament to the growth Tyson has achieved. It showed that he understands some of the greatest battles are fought within oneself, reflecting the maturity he's gained through his experiences.